So this video is about how lenses work. We're going to look at power, focal length, diopter, and how you construct an image. So let's start off with a basic lens. The lenses that we're going to be dealing with are all this shape, a convex lens. And when you are dealing with the lens, you would always draw, as well as your lens, what's known as the principal axis. And this is a convex lens. Now the convex lens works by bringing light to a focus, and I'll deal with how it does that in the next video, but for now we're just looking at the lens itself. So if a ray of light comes into the lens and that ray of light is parallel to the principal axis, then that light will always hit what's known as the focal point of the lens. So that will come down through the focal point. So the point where a light which is parallel to the principal axis hits this focal length is called the focal point. And it doesn't matter where the line comes, they all hit at that point. So different lenses, so the focal length is the distance from here to here, the focal length. Focal length is measured in meters, it's the SI unit, and this lens, because it's the same both sides, it has a focal length, a focal point on each side. Now different lenses of different shapes will have different focal lengths. So if you have a very curved lens like that, then this one will have a very short focal length. So drawing my principal axis, the focal length is very, very short. So it's a very short focal length. And the lens which is much thinner doesn't have such a great ability to bend light, so its focal length will be much longer. So if a ray comes in parallel to the principal axis, it will eventually hit the focal point. Okay. Now this ability of the lens to bring the light to a focus is known as the power of the lens. Now you would say that this one was much more of a powerful lens. It's much more powerful because it brings the light into a focus much quicker, and this one we would call a weaker lens. Now the power of a lens is its ability to bring light to a focus, and if you think that the powerful lens brings the light to a focus in a short distance and a weak lens brings the light to a focus over a longer distance, then we end up with this relationship, which is that the power of the lens is 1 over the focal length. And the power is measured in a unit called diopter, or D, as long as the focal length is measured in meters. So for example, if the focal length of the lens is 50 centimeters, what is the power? So power equals 1 over the focal length. Focal length has been written in centimeters, we need to turn it into meters, so 1 over 0.5 equals 2 diopter, and that's the power of that lens.